Hello and welcome to A Day in the Garden with me, Christina Linder. Today we're going to be making a wreath from some of the lovely things that I picked in my garden this morning. I have, of course, there's a million ways you can make a wreath, but I have a wreath frame here that's a very narrow wire. If you want, you can actually take a wire coat hanger and shape it into a circle too if you want. And then of course you'd have the little hook at the top to hang it. But what I'm going to do here is make a very, very narrow wreath, and you can use any kind of evergreen material that you may have access to. So I have a spool of wire here, and I'm going to start by securing this wire. Now you're going to have to wrap it really, really tightly because otherwise it's going to want to twist. So you're going to wrap it on there as tight as we can. And if you want to use pliers to make this more secure, by all means go for it. And then we're going to take different types of evergreen and we're going to wire them on here. And we're going to try to keep it looking very light and delicate and not too heavy. So I have all kinds of different things here with varying textures, and I'm just going to bundle and put these on top like so, and I'm going to wrap it around a few times to make it really quite secure. And you want to wrap it quite tightly so it's not flopping around on there. There. So that's the first piece on there. And now I'm going to try a different kind of texture, and you can also use longer pieces because that's going to help give the whole construction more stability. So I'm going to try that. And again, we're just laying it on here. Let me show you. And then we're going to wrap it around a few times really tightly. So you can buy these paddles of wire at most flower shops or hobby stores. Michael's carry them. You can get them in a lot of different places. And if you don't have a place close to you where you can buy this kind of stuff, it is usually also available on Amazon. And you can have it delivered straight to your doorstep. There, let's try another piece of the same. And so we're going to wrap it 3 or 4 times, really nice and tight, like that. And then maybe we'll try a few pieces of osmanthus here. So I'm just going to take off a few of the pieces on the bottom. And maybe I will cut him shorter. And like make a little bunch like that. And then more wrapping. Three, 4 wraps to make it secure. So that's basically the look of it that we're going to get. And now maybe a little bit more back of the same here. Like so. And then if you want to, you can of course add branches with berries on them. You can use, I have some grass here. This is a type of miscanthus. Now these get quite fluffy when they're inside. So if you don't want them to get all fluffy and make a mess, give them a little spray with just regular hairspray. That'll keep them in place. And we're going to just tuck that in like so. In fact, it's very long and it's got the center spine, so I might just pinch it out there and double it so that it's shorter and fuller. Like that. Then you can use all kinds of interesting natural materials, bits of bark and flower seed pods if you want. Let me get a few more of these. And most cases I don't clean off the stems for this, because having a little bit of branches and leaves and needles on there gives the whole construction more stability. There, so I'm pulling quite tight. Like so. There we go. And you can do exactly the same thing if you want with artificial material as well. And a bit more osmanthus. There you go. And this way you can really get Christmas decorations that are uniquely your own, and that you can proudly display knowing that you made them. And these also make excellent gifts for friends and family. Got a little bit of hydrangea here that was left on the plant, and they start to kind of go brown and papery once the weather turns, but they're still beautiful. Like that, a little bit more of this. And there's some lovely shrubs, of course, that you can grow. There is one shrub called a calicarpa that has bright purple berries this time of year. That could be excellent to use. Of course, there is crabapple, there is firethorn, there's all kinds of different berries. You're limited only by your imagination. And you can also, if you're going to hang this wreath outside, you could also use carnations, fresh carnations. And outside they'll last maybe even up to a couple of weeks. Oops. And sometimes, if you're very strong, you'll break your wire. And what we're just going to do is we're going to loop it back on itself and twist it back in so that it's very secure. Like nothing ever happened. A few extra twists there. And I like the kind of botanical look of this because it doesn't look so commercial. It looks like something that's unique and handmade. There we go. And what else should we use? Maybe a little bit more of the osmanthus. And I don't know if you can see, but there's quite a few small spiders in here. And even a ladybug. There we go. And of course, by growing a lot of plants with evergreen foliage and so on, your garden's going to look interesting in the winter time as well. There's really no reason why your garden couldn't be spectacular year round. And with a wreath, you don't have to go all the way around if you don't want to. You can also display a wreath that's half decorated like this. You could get just some branches and attach to this other side if you want to. It's really fun to be creative and just try different things and see what you like. Because there's really no right or wrong way to do it. And that's the fun part with being creative, I think. There. Maybe a little bit more of this miscanthus. And I picked this miscanthus just a few hours ago, and you can see how it's already starting to fluff. So a little hairspray will keep that intact, and it'll keep your house a bit cleaner. There. You can use a knife to cut your greens if you want. I personally like a pair of heavy shears or a pair of snippers. And it's basically the same process. Just add a little piece and then 3 or 4 wraps to secure it. And then another piece. And I'm trying to, of course, vary the textures a little bit. And the house smells absolutely wonderful now from all the greens. And if you wanted to display this wreath inside, what you can do is you can mist it with just fresh water every few days, or even every day if your home is dry inside in the winter time. And I would suggest that you take it maybe into the shower and mist it there so that you don't get water on your walls and create unnecessary damage. And that. You could, of course, also use this technique and do eucalyptus. That would make a beautiful wreath, and that would also be a very beautiful fragrance. And I think we're nearing the end here. So when we get to the end, we're just going to tuck the stems that we're adding underneath the beginner stems there. And I know I have one more piece of miscanthus that we might add here. Like that. Tuck that in. And if you're repeating an item, here they're fairly evenly spaced apart. And you can have a little fun toying with the placement of things to get the effect that you want. And a little bit more of this. There. So we just need a few more little pieces here and we're all done. And we'll tuck those in and we'll wrap around. Maybe just one more little piece and then we're all finished here. So you want to make sure also that it doesn't look naked and have a little spot where it doesn't have anything. There. And then to finally secure it on the back side, if you want to, you can make a little loop that you could hang it on. So there you can see the back side of it. It looks very nice and tidy and flat on the back. So now I'm going to take that wire and I'm going to kind of loop it back on itself and thread that end through. And then again, because you don't want the wire to fall out and all your beautiful wreath material fall on the floor. And do that a few times so that it's really nice and secure. And there you go. So this is a wreath that you can of course hang on the wall, but you can also lay it on the table and put flowers or something in the center of it, candles even. If you use candles together with live material or artificial for that matter, you want to make sure that there is no risk that things are going to catch fire. So that would really make for a memorable Christmas dinner. So thank you very much for spending this time with me today. My name is Christina Linder, and please like, follow, and share. Have a great day. Be creative in the garden.